SEO for 2020 is a complex thing, with over 200 elements factored into the Google search algorithm. No one knows what changes will occur with Google search in the future, but the only sure thing is that there will definitely be change. Is your website ready? The surest way to ensure success in organic search is to make sure that the user has a great experience. And this is done by optimizing all the content on your site pages. The methods you'll learn in this course are perfect for boosting traffic to those pages or those sites that have fallen in rankings, perhaps due to Google algorithm changes. In this course, you will learn how to maximize your presence and rankings in Google search, how to optimize and improve keyword phrases that you already rank for, check and remove problems with technical SEO issues, optimize for voice search, which is the future of organic search, add schema markup correctly, and learn about rich snippets and featured snippets for organic search. Learn how to link internally for maximum impact. Learn how branding, trust and authority is the backbone of your future success in organic search. You will learn how to create frequently asked questions in the right format so that Google presents them in their Ask search boxes. Sign up now and learn how to boost your organic search traffic. It's guaranteed. This course provides you with a proven strategy for improving your Google search traffic. With an eye on Google quality guidelines, it focuses on all the aspects of a website that needs to rank highly in Google search. The step-by-step procedures focus on all the aspects of a successful website in the eyes of Google. We look at content, the technical aspects of SEO, and the social implications. What is the future of Google search? What is the future of mobile search? Your website needs to be the best it can possibly be to succeed in Google rankings. But before we take a look at the content and the structure of your site, we need to make sure that all the technical aspects are in order. For the purposes of this course, I'm going to split the technical issues into categories: content, broken links, and speed. There are many free audit tools on the internet which will crawl your site and list various problems with guidance for correcting them. Common issues are missing image alt tags, duplicate pages, duplicate meta descriptions, and such things as multiple H1 heading tags. Most issues are relatively easy to fix using the guidance notes provided with the tool. We won't go into the details here. It isn't necessary, and the course is much broader in scope. Suffice to say, you need to make sure that your site doesn't have underlying technical problems that will tend to sabotage the best results of your content optimization. The next question is, how does your site look and perform on mobile? I use two tools to check this. First of all, a visualization tool which allows you to see your site on various devices from tablets down to the smallest smartphone. And next, I use Google Search Console to hone in on the detail of any problems that Google Search Bot finds. For example, Common issues I found with my site were content too wide in the case of poorly optimized image maps, and link text or images too close together for navigation by touch. Such issues give a poor user experience, so people will spend less time on your site, which is a negative signal for Google. The next step is to check your site for broken links, both externally and internally. There are many free tools on the internet to do just this. This tool simply lists every occurrence of a broken link. It gives the URL where the link can be found, and also the source code, so you can find it easily. Although it can take some time, you need to ensure that all links are fully functional, as it reflects on the quality in the eyes of Google. Site speed is also a factor, and it can impact rankings in two ways. I suspect that the Google algorithm measures load speed directly as part of the ranking process. But the time spent on a page is also important. It's a double whammy. If your page is slow, users will not want to wait for it to load, so they will leave, so it will hardly register as a visit at all. Any of the free tools give instructions how to improve your site speed. Such improvements range from lazy loading images and video to reducing the number of scripts executed on a page. If you have a WordPress site, there are many plugins to help with load speed. It's often possible to reduce page load speed to under a second by simply using lazy load and a cache plugin. When you finish checking and solving any technical issues, it's time to look at your content in some detail. The first step is to check the keywords that your page or your site is ranking for in Google Search Console, and how to devise a strategy for improving your traffic. The main focus of this course is to boost the positions and the ranking, also the traffic, for keywords that you're already ranked for. I assume that you've already submitted your domain to Google Search Console. If not, please do it now. It's an invaluable tool. If your page is not ranking, or it's a new site, then you won't have a history in Google Search Console. In that case, you'll need another strategy for developing a cluster of related keywords. I'll cover this at the end of the video. This is the first step I take to boost organic search traffic to a website. First, go to Google Analytics. Scroll down until you see the most visited pages on your site and click Pages Report. You may well find that 80% of the traffic to your site is generated by just 10 to 30% of the total number of pages. This effect is called the 80-20 rule, and it shows that you can make substantial traffic gains by optimizing just the top 20% of your site pages. Make a note of the pages you intend to optimize, and now go over to the Google Search Console. Click Performance and Average Position. Scrolling down, click on Pages and click on one of the pages that you noted in Google Analytics. The list of pages will be very similar, but I prefer to use Analytics as it's a measure of traffic to the site rather than impressions, but either will do. Click on the page you wish to optimize and also click Queries. you'll find a list of terms that page ranks for and its position. Click Filter Rows and check the position box. On the left-hand side of the page, click the arrow by the side of Equals and choose Smaller Than. Here you can enter the number 12. Note the search terms that rank between 5 and 12 on the list. The reason I choose these two positions is twofold. Page 2 rankings, that is below position 10, get very little traffic. Positions 9 to 10 get some light traffic, so flipping a site from page 2 to page 1 represents a significant traffic improvement. The biggest gains come from moving from positions 6, 7 or 8 up to the top 3 or 4. It's also much easier than trying to boost a ranking from 3 or 4 right to the top, as it gets progressively more difficult the higher you go. If you can improve rankings for several closely related keywords, then the page focus keyword and other semantically related phrases will also tend to follow. The next step is to optimize the content on your web page for the chosen cluster of related keywords. Google Search Console gives a lot of very valuable information, but there's one part of the pie that is missing. It doesn't give you the search volumes per month for any phrase. We need to use another tool to find these volumes. After all, it's little use in boosting these keywords, even if they're highly positioned, if they have no search volume. Go to the CSV file of the keywords you downloaded from Google Search Console and sort by ranking position. Click on Data, Sort, select Position and Ascending. Scroll down until you see the range of phrases that rank between position 7 and 12. Copy these keywords. We're going to use a tool called SERPFox to check the keyword volumes. Create an account, enter the keywords and the related URL. The tool will display the keyword position and associated organic search volume. Just note here that the position displayed may be slightly different to that found in Google Search Console. Look for and write down 7 to 8 keywords with decent search volume. You're now ready to optimize the page. Before moving on, let's take a look at the basic requirements for creating content for Google Search. We could call this Level 1. These are the basics, and in this course we're going to go much further than this. All technical SEO issues should be in order. The page URL contains the main focus keyword of the page. In my case, it is blues chord progression. The page title, which is an H1 heading, includes a main keyword in some form. The focus keyword should appear several times in the text. The text should be between 2,000 to 4,000 words. The image alt text tags contain the main keyword or variation in longer phrases. Your content should be multimedia. It's rich in text, video, images, infographics, audio and PDFs. The page links out to authority sites. If you haven't already done this, take the time now to add the main focus keyword to your page content. Now we're ready to go ahead and integrate the rest of the keywords found from Google Search Console. Some of the keywords may be found in the text of the page and they may not, because the Google search algorithm uses artificial intelligence to determine if some of the phrases are semantically related to the main phrase. Export the keyword list from SERPFox and select the keywords you want to use depending on their volume. Open your web page and right-click View Page Source. Hold Ctrl F to search the code and enter the first phrase. If the phrase appears several times, it's in order. You can leave it as it is. If the phrase doesn't appear at all, then you can add the phrases into your text. Next, add these keywords inside the H2 headings. You may have to write more text to accommodate them. And lastly, include these phrases within longer terms for the image alt text fields. When that's done, we can move ahead for the advanced optimization. A page menu is always a great idea, particularly if you have long content. It improves the user experience so that they tend to stay on your site a little bit longer. Time spent on the site is another small element inside the Google search algorithm. But there's another spin-off effect from adding a menu to your page. It tends to attract clicks in Google search. For example, one of my pages ranks highly for a question. What is ragtime blues guitar? Such searches commonly bring back several YouTube videos which push down the website search results. However, my page appears as a featured snippet right at the top of search. It's called Position 0 and it's a very coveted position. I'll show you how to do this later, but I really wanted to focus on my page result. Scrolling down, my page appears at position 7 or 8. Notice that it looks a little different from the others. There is a clickable menu featured underneath the text. If you hover over the text without clicking, you will see that the link locations are internally placed settings on the same page. This presents another opportunity to add some of our keywords. Here is the menu on my page. So a menu gives us the opportunity to add some keywords in a legitimate way, while also improving user experience. We can integrate the keywords into the menu itself, into the H2 heading where the menu item links to, and in the code used to jump to the heading location. Let's see how it's done. Each item is coded as a list and hyperlinked in the normal way. The href specifies an internal link by using a hashtag. The text after the hashtag is placed in the location to jump to. We use exactly the same text without the hashtag. Sample code can be found in the resources. A page contact menu is just another small way that your website can stand out from the competition. It helps Google to better understand the structure of your page and content while providing a smooth user experience. In the next video, you'll learn how to add schema markup to your page. In the last video, we saw how my site was presented as a featured snippet in position 0 for Google search. A very good position to be in. Google took this from my web page because it was considered to be a good answer, but also because it was submitted as schema markup code, which is easier for the Google search bots to decipher. Schema markup code has many categories to choose from, but I tend to use these: person, article, item list, breadcrumbs, blog posting, video, and audio. I'll go through each one and show how to add information into each field correctly. Although there are tools that help, such as the Google highlighter in the Search Console, and Markup, my own strategy is to add a block of code as HTML at the beginning of each page and change the fields accordingly to the content. Details of the free tools can be found in resources. Schema markup provides a way of identifying ourselves and linking out to our social media profiles. In this way, we tend to increase the authority of the website and also the trust factor. Remember, the complete schema markup code that I use can be found in resources. Simply copy and paste it into your site and adapt it to your URLs and content. This first section identifies you as a person and links out to your social profiles. Fill in the name field and add the social profile URLs as required. The breadcrumb list is intended to show page hierarchy. Enter your domain URL in position 1, leaving name as home, and add the page URLs as needed. The number of page URLs will depend on how many jumps away from the home page your target page is. I also add my page content menu to the breadcrumb markup, or place positions on the page URL. The most common schema markup type is article. You may have just one or more on your page. Insert the page URL and then the page headline and complete the date published field. Note here that it's usual to add a modified date. Even if you use the same date, I recommend that you do this, because Google returns an empty field as a warning. Choose a paragraph to represent the page and paste it into the description field. Choose an image URL and specify its size. You can give your organization a name, even if it's your own name, and create a logo image 600 pixels wide and 60 pixel high. This is a logo image I use across the site, and the URL is the location in my site resources. In the next video, you'll learn how to add the schema markup for blog post, video, and audio. If you have a blog and you want to add schema markup for a blog post, we use basically the same schema markup data for article, except that the type is blog posting. All the fields are completed in the same way as for the article schema. Video is essential for any web page, and most pages have more than one. If you have a playlist on your page, simply copy and paste the code between script type and script for each video in the list. Take particular care with the video fields. In the past, I've paid for schema markup services to save time, only to find that the fields were not correctly completed. Enter the video URL here and the embed URL here. Notice that they are different. The rest of the information required can be found on the video page on YouTube. Copy and paste the description into the correct field. If there is no description, then write one, remembering to sprinkle in relevant keywords. To get the thumbnail, we're going to right-click on the YouTube video page and choose View Page Source. Take care to click anywhere except on the video itself. By pressing Ctrl F, we bring up the search box for the code. Enter thumbnails inside inverted commas and press Enter. You will find many instances of thumbnails in the page code. Scroll down to the last one as shown and copy the URL. Paste this URL into the thumbnail URL field. The upload date and duration are entered below that, and the rest of the script is completed using your own logo details. The audio script is very simple. Add the MP3 URL to the content URL field. Add a short description, the duration of the clip, and give it a name. In the next video, you'll learn how to add schema markup for frequently asked questions, and why this is so very important for the future of SEO. Searches in question format are going to be incredibly important for the future of SEO. It's estimated that by 2020, at least 50% of all searches will be made by voice. Although the majority of these will be local searches, whatever the niche of your website, you cannot afford to ignore this trend. Your site must have questions in the text, and many sites now use questions as their H2 headings. Let's see how we do this. One of my pages is in position 5 in Google search for the phrase Easy Blues Guitar Progression. As I scroll down, you can see that a Google Ask box presents questions that may help users in their search. This is intended to short-circuit the need to scroll down and search. The result for my page also shows an Ask box, which helps me to stand out and enhance the listing. But where does Google find them? At the bottom of this page, I introduced a mini frequently asked questions section, with answers appearing when you hover over the text with the mouse. To make sure that the questions have the best possible chance to appear on Google search, I added Schema markup for FAQ as follows. Add the question to the name field and your answer in the answer field. And that's it. Simply copy and paste additional sections as you add questions. So far, so good. But where do the questions come from? You could make them up, but there's a better way. In this website called Internet Marketing Ninjas, there is a tool specifically designed to provide information about featured snippets relevant to your site. Remember that a featured snippet is placed in position 0 of Google search and is highly prized. Create a free account and log in. You can analyze 3 URLs for one domain for free. Once inside the dashboard, enter 3 URLs and wait for the results. When complete, you will see 3 tabs: Featured Snippets, People Also Ask, and Searches Related To. Choosing the Featured Snippets tab, you can choose one of the URLs you entered. There's a lot of great information here, but I want to focus on People Also Ask. The list of questions that appear are taken directly from Google and are graded for usage. I simply took the top 10 questions for my page and created a mini FAQ section. The ideal situation is to have the page also appearing as a featured snippet at the top of the page, but this depends on the strength of the competition. In the next video, I'm going to talk about branding, trust, and authority, and how we can improve this in the eyes of Google. We've already linked out to our social profiles and added the schema markup as shown in a previous video. The site About page is the ideal place to reinforce this and make sure that Google is well aware of your reach. If you don't already have an About page, create one. If it does exist, enhance it by adding text until it's around 2,000 words. The usual guidelines relating to content pages also apply here. This means multimedia, rich content, and an interesting story, using H2 heading subtitles for relevant keywords. As with an ordinary page, link out to authority sites, with anchor text related to your site's niche. At the bottom of the page, add all your social profiles and link out to them. Now go to each of your social profiles and make sure that they link back to your About page. The About page has increased in importance and is a measure of your reach on the Internet. The idea is to impress upon Google that you are an authority in your niche. The final step is to add links to any site that features you or your site. A search for Jim Bruce guitar returns several results that I can use in my About page, so I'll copy the URLs and add them to the page. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to add a useful links section to your page and how we can enhance this to further improve your SEO. In the past, in an attempt to keep visitors on their site, some webmasters kept the outgoing links to a minimum. It was considered that outgoing links leak authority and rank from a page and a website. But SEO is changing fast. Google grades a website more and more on how useful it is to a visitor. Does the page adequately answer the visitor's query? That is the first question asked by Google search. If the visitor lands on your page and it has very useful outgoing links, then that is a positive signal. We can also integrate this strategy with some relevant keywords to further improve SEO. In a previous video, we integrated a cluster of keywords into a page menu, into a hyperlinked placeholder, and also into H2 subheadings. We can do the same thing with a useful links section at the bottom of the page. Either use anchor text or a naked URL. If anchor text is used, don't use one of your keywords directly. This is too obvious. Just issue a phrase with the keywords integrated within, or better still, a question. Let's say my keyword is blues chords. I want to link out to a high-ranking page with that keyword within the page title and also its URL. Google Search has operators we can use to find these sites. These operators are in URL followed by a colon and in title followed by a colon. We're going to use these together. If I add blues chords to the operators in this way, Google will list the sites. Choose a site from the top 3, checking that they are not a direct competitor. Copy the URL and add to your page. I generally add 4 or 5 of these useful links to a page. Not only does it introduce relevant keywords into the text at the bottom of the page, but the link out to the useful site also contains that keyword in the title and the URL. This is another powerful signal to Google and tells the search algorithm what the page is all about. In the next video, I'm going to talk about internal linking, how to check it and how to optimize it to maximize internal SEO. Everyone knows that backlinks to your site have a powerful effect on SEO and your rankings. These factors are called off-page SEO. It makes sense that if you have an authority site that links to your site, then it considers that there is something valuable here for people to see. What is less known generally is that internal links within your own site also have an impact on SEO. If you have pages with low traffic and that are not visited very often, and you link to them from several of your higher traffic pages, it will affect the rankings of your page in a positive way. In previous videos, you learn how to optimize one or more pages by adding schema markup for FAQ and useful links. Now is the time to look at the link structure, the internal link structure in your site from other pages on your domain. We're going to use the Google Search Console for this. Go to the console, find your domain, and scroll down the left-hand menu. At the bottom, click on Links. Two columns will appear showing external and internal links. The site homepage normally has the most links in both categories, which makes it the most powerful page on the site. Pages that you want to rank should be linked directly from the home page. Scroll down and click More. Scroll down the list of pages which are listed from the most linked to the least and look for the page you previously optimized. In my case, it has 124 links from other site pages. Click on the page URL to find the pages that link to it. This is the strategy I use to find the pages on my site with the highest authority, using the Moz bar in Chrome browser. First of all, sign up for a free account at moz.com. Step 2. Search for Moz extension for Chrome and click through to the Chrome Web Store. And step 3. Install Mozbar in your Chrome browser. The bar icon will appear in your browser, and once you've logged in, you'll have access to on-page SEO characteristics, which include page authority. We can also use the Mozbar to find high authority pages to link to the target page that we wish to boost. Enter the Google search operator site : including your site in inverted commas, to list your site pages. Mozbar will show the page's authority for each one. Note that my domain authority is lower than the actual homepage authority, so this is an obvious candidate for internal linking out. Search the list of pages for the highest authority and note them down, and edit them to include links to your target page. The anchor text for the link can be the main keyword for the target page, or a variation or an LSI keyword related to it. Simply link the page directly to the target page. Not only does internal linking reinforce the keyword and the content of the target page, but authority from the main page also flows down, so that you give it a boost in SERPs. In the next video, you'll learn how to eliminate pages that have little worth and no traffic, and incorporate them into a larger page, so that the content on your site improves in SEO. When a website grows to 100 pages or more, it's not uncommon to find that several pages have very similar content. They focus on much the same target keywords as each other. It's a good idea in this case to take the content from these pages and incorporate it into one bigger page, a page that already exists that has some traffic. The original pages with light content can simply be redirected to the new page. The advantage of doing this is that the new page, incorporating all the light content from the previous pages, will be much bigger. It will probably have 4,000 to 5,000 words around rich content. It will capture more keywords and its SEO visibility will increase. We would then add a 301 permanent redirect from all the other pages so that their authority passes on to the new page. Let's take a look at how we can do this. My site has several pages targeting ragtime guitar, so they can be combined into one page. The best practice is to target the page with most authority. You can check this with the Moz bar we used in the last video. It probably also has the highest ranking for the main keyword that you want to rank for. For ranking checking, simply open a free account in a service like serpfox.com. Enter the page URLs and the main keyword. SERPfox allows you to track 10 keywords for free. Use the page with the highest rank and copy and paste the content from the other pages into it. If none of the pages are ranking for the term, use a page with the highest Moz authority. Once you've transferred the content, the next thing to do is to add the code for a permanent 301 redirect. This useful 301 redirect code generator provides code in HTML and PHP format. You simply enter both URLs and the code is generated for you to paste into your pages. This strategy effectively eliminates light content pages, pages with almost no traffic. Google does not like these and doesn't rank them at all. The new page will have 3,000 to 5,000 words and rich content. If you optimize this page using the guidelines in this course, within 30 to 60 days it will become a very valuable asset for your site. In the next video, I'm going to revisit featured snippets. Remember that these snippets are in the position 0 on Google search. They're very valuable and they're mostly accompanied with an image. We're going to look at how we can optimize our images so that they can replace existing images in featured snippets. A featured snippet at the very top of Google search in position 0 is very valuable real estate. It's a click magnet. It's almost impossible not to click on this first result. It isn't always possible to capture this coveted position, but there's another way to take advantage of it. If our image, for example, appeared on someone else's featured snippet, then we would gain extra traffic from this. Some snippets pull an image from the same website as the text, which is the ideal situation. However, more and more it's becoming common for Google to pull the image that is ranking highly on Google Images. If that image is yours and it's branded with your site, then you will surely get extra visibility and therefore more clicks. So the trick here is to rank an image itself in Google search. If your image ranks highly, then it's quite likely that Google will use it in a featured snippet somewhere. Of course, the image should be included in the schema markup for your site. Let's take a look at how we rank images. The image alt text should match or partially match the keyword you want to rank for. The content around the image should be closely related to the keyword. The keyword should be incorporated in the image file name. We reinforce the optimization by syndicating the image to image sharing websites. Link back to the image on the page of your website. I use a Fiverr service for this, which means that you can syndicate your image to 15 to 20 platforms for a very low cost. You can also embed the image on other websites. The embed code will reference the image page as a source of origin. Images are ranked in the same way as video, but many websites don't focus on this aspect of SEO. In the new SEO, ranking images represents another way of improving and increasing a website visibility. You'll find that about 80% of the traffic for your site comes from just 20% of the number of your web pages. This is called the 80-20 rule. The ratio 80-20 is not set, it could be different. In fact, for my site, it's something like 90-10. So 90% of the traffic for my site comes from just 10% of the pages. This general business rule indicates that we could spend some time optimizing a small amount of pages relatively to give a huge increase in Google organic traffic. The process is not fast, but does represent improvements that are solid and permanent. This screenshot in Google Analytics shows the increase in organic traffic over a period of 30 to 60 days. The statistics in Google Search Console show significant improvements for both impressions and for clicks. Clicking on the Search Appearance tab, we can see the activity relating to frequently asked questions, which is considerable, and also video. Both of these are due to the addition of Schema Markup on our web pages. As you can see, activity before adding Schema Markup was 0. SEO is constantly evolving to keep pace with the Google search algorithm changes. Your key to success is creating great content and optimizing the pages according to the guidelines in this course. Good luck.